Okay. Hi, guys. Thank you for inviting me. I'm humbled to be here. Uh, Today I'm gonna share my story. It's the first time I'm doing it, so it's kind of weird doing this on the Zoom. I usually do this on the stage, so I feel people energy. And I'm gonna talk about the book, how did I get to it, how I wrote the book of Not Enoughness, and the gift and the curse. So, how did the whole journey started? Oh, it's funny. It's 2016. Ironman. I've done a lot of Ironmans. I'm training for Ironman New Zealand, and I go skiing 2 weeks before the race. I'm 44 years old, in the best shape of my life, and I get in the ski crash. Okay, I didn't do anything out of it. It's a regular ski accident. But unfortunately, I end up 6 months in hospital, 13 surgeries. I broke my hand in 13 places, and my leg. I almost lost my leg. I ended up in hospital. And that's the first time in my life. I was very fortunate because I retired at the age of 28, so I never have any financial struggles. And anything ever I wanted in my life, I had it. I was father of 4 kids, married. Anything by the rules of society, I had everything. And suddenly I'm 44 years old and I'm have zero emotional intelligence and fitness, how to deal with this. Like the worst thing they could do, they're gonna amputate my leg. I'm in hospital. My voices in my head don't stop, and I don't know how to deal with that. Suddenly I won't be able to play with my kids. I won't be able to ski again. I won't be able to do Ironman, the competition. I lost complete identity, and emotionally, I wasn't prepared for that at all. I thought this is like the bottom of the bottom. And it wasn't the first time I thought of suicide, but I was like, shit, what I'm gonna do now? Let's kill myself. That's the easy way out. But then I'm thinking about it and going through the process, and same thing happened in 2008 when the market hit the bottom, and that's when I made all my money. But when everybody started asking me for money, I was the same thing. Like, I was quickly to find a quick solution. But because I found a solution in 2008, I didn't know I'm going to find it in 2016. Because every time there was something depends on me doing something, and suddenly I wasn't emotionally and mentally prepared to deal with this, suddenly with this physical pain and the accident. But fortunately enough, I surround myself with great people. And because I again start working and recovering, so it took my mind off of all those negative thoughts and self-talk. So a year goes by, I recover, I save my leg. Finally, the 13th surgery was the good surgery. They saved my leg. I start walking, and the rehabilitation started. Of course, Jarek doesn't do anything 100%. Yeah, I do everything 120%. They said one physical therapy a day, I do three. But my voices in my head didn't stop. Like, how can I be 44 years old and I'm dealing with all these issues? And I didn't know where they're coming from. So I started looking for coaches. I was in the self-improvement my entire life. Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Eddie G, like all those guys. But nobody talks how to deal with the inner voice. And I have this negative voices, they're ruminating, and they're not stopping. So I found this group. I found Raul Vilesias with the Edge Brotherhood Next Level, and I give him a call, and I told him that I'm struggling and I'm just not happy. And he goes like, "What happened?" I explained the accident. I was like, "Well, you have everything in life. By the rules of society, I have absolutely everything. You know, so I'm successful and I have everything, but yet I'm not happy." And he started asking me questions, and I have no idea how to answer them. Like, what do you mean you're not happy? I'm not happy. But why are you not happy? I don't know. Like, I really sound like a dumb kid, and the deeper question he asked, the less answers I have. And I know I'm just like, whatever it is, I don't like how I feel. And I don't like what I'm kind of embarrassed of my own thoughts and I don't know where I'm going. So he goes, okay, come, I have a, boot camp, 3, 4 days boot camp, come over to New York City and, we go through it. And that's when the whole thing started. Okay. He took me to cemetery and he goes, why don't you find somebody tombstone and find something, with your name and what would you write about it? And this was the first time in my life I completely broke down. It's March, it's freezing. It was like it's March, it's like I was 45 years old, and the only thing I could write on the tombstone was like Jarek Tadla, wealthy Scrooge, nothing else to show for. And I completely broke down. I start crying, I start screaming. I'm not a good enough father. I'm not a good enough husband. I'm a horrible human being. All those negative voices, all those negative voices throughout my life, it just showed up. And that's how my first awareness started, or emotional intelligence, emotional fitness, and mental struggles. Because, when I was always on the mission, I had always figured out I always have something bigger goals out there. So I always look for the bigger goals and I put everything on the carpet. And going forward, so now I'm in the brotherhood. We talk about about emotional intelligence, emotional fitness. I'm getting all the tools. I start meditating. I start praying. I got back, my faith with God came back. Suddenly I surround myself with the tribe. They're going through the same issues. A lot of very successful people. And, I went through divorce. And because of that, of all the work that I've done, I went pretty good. And suddenly 2020 COVID happens. Okay. So 4 years later, I'm sitting and, I lost connection with all these people. The only time we're talking on the Zooms and all this stuff, right? But because of all the connections, all the work I do, a lot of reading, a lot of stuff, and because 2020 happened, I saw a lot of opportunities in my business. So I went all in on my business. And again, I forgot about myself. And I completely just, make completely buried myself at work, helped me to recover from divorce. And suddenly it's March 2021. I'm like at the pinnacle of my life. Um, I'm like financially wealthy because of the COVID, I make more money than in 2008 recession. So I'm like this time I'm retired for good, right? I'm emotionally healthy. Now I have I'm aware of all my emotions and all the feelings and now I recognize what's going on, right? Then spiritually, I got back connected with the God and the faith. So I'm like back, so like Jesus. So I got like absolutely everything. I have a great relationship. I fell in love. I have a, new queen of my life, good relationship with my kids, completely connected. And, I'm very like physically fit again. I'm back to 1% body fat, start doing Ironman, working out every day, like absolutely everything. And the most important, I'm sober. And what I'm telling, I'm sober. A lot of people think sober is from alcohol. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, but mostly my entire life I was sedating with work because when I worked 20, 22 hours a day, what happened is I was sedating with work. But the society don't recognize this like a sedation. When you hiding from reality, you sedate. And you working 20, 22 hours out, you're escaping reality. And then when I retired at the age of 28, which was also a gift and a curse because I was completely unprepared to retire. 28 years old kid just retire, have all the money he can spend. What to do now? There is no goals. There is no anything to hit for. So then I start sedating with working out, with doing Ironmans. So when I started doing the Ironmans, I start working out for 80 hours a week. But it's again, it was another sedation. But by rules of the society, Jarek is good. Jarek is good because he's doing something for his body. He's winning competition, even though I was hiding. And then suddenly, when in after divorce, when I was drinking, suddenly my friends, my family, Jarek, you've been drinking too much. Oh, now you have a problem. That now suddenly I'm doing the bed sedation. So now it's like, okay. So that's why I quit drinking. So that's why I say I'm saying that I was sober because I was also not drinking. I was not doing any drugs. So I'm completely sober. And also I'm not hiding at work. I'm not sedating with workouts. I'm not sedating with work. And so I got everything I can imagine. And I got sick. I got sick. I thought, regular flu. I got some guys here. So, guys, when we have a flu, we're freaking dying, right? We know that, right? Women are laughing. That's when we have a flu, we're freaking dying. And I'm dying, right? But 3 days, all the symptoms goes away. And guess what? I'm still miserable. I'm still in bed. 3 days turns to 7 days. 7 days goes to 20 days. 20 days turns to 44 days. Guys, I'm getting goosebumps. Guys, I'm sitting in bed and it just started and would not the first 3 days when I have a excuse that I'm in bed because I'm sick, it was good. But when all this stuff suddenly my anxiety start that I don't do anything, and then mentally all this emotional pain, everything that I from years when I was 10 years old, when I was 3 years old, when I was 15 years old, all the bully in school, all this shit, all this pain compound and got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was alone with my own thoughts. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. I look at outside the window, I have a nice boat. I'm gonna get on the boat. I have the scuba diving tanks over there. That's the easiest death you can possibly do. I just go do the last dive. I hook up all my equipment. I just do deep dive. It's like a narcosis. It's the easiest, the peaceful death you can ever imagine. But I was fucking too lazy for this shit too. I couldn't get out the bed. So now I have even more pain that I'm too lazy to even kill myself. Thank God I'm here. Okay, so I get back in bed and the thoughts coming and the demons and the devils. It's like you're not enough, you stupid, you ugly. Look at what you get here. I'm like, I'm very successful in everything I've done. Nothing mattered, nothing. All those outside validation meant zero at the time. Even though it didn't make logic, the negativity, everything just become my identity after 30, 40 days, when you talk to yourself, it becomes who you are. And unfortunately, I believe in that. And I become the person that I've been telling myself. And guys, you know what is funny? I made fun. I made fun always of people that are depressed. I was the first one to make fun. You depressed, get out of the bed, go to gym, do this. You broke, get a job, go this. You fat, go. Do something. I made fun. The problem is I have zero empathy for myself, so I have zero empathy for everybody else. And this finally caught up with me. And it's like all the pain for my entire life. It's like, why? Like I made fun of COVID and maybe there was a COVID. I'm like, no, I was telling for years that I made all the money during COVID. This was one big scam. And this catch up with me. It's the pain that somebody I was swimming 10 years old in a line, somebody kicked me. I felt the pain. It's like if anybody knows what compound interest is in money, compound interest, compound pain, when you hide it and you don't face it, you don't force it and you don't sit up to it, the older we get, the bigger the pain it gets. And I'm laying there I'm like, I can't, I'm too lazy to kill myself. And I just every day, okay, let's go to the boat. No, but then I have to hook up the tanks. I'm like, ah, shit. I'm like, I cannot take my captain on it. I cannot, do this to my captain. I mean, I love this guy, right? So, and I'm like, how could, like, I have everything. I guys have zero reason to complain. I got 5 kids at that time. I have a queen of my life. I have more money than I could ever have. I'm in the better shape that I could ever have. And everything, nothing matters. And here what happened when you guys in bed for 40 days, 50 days, it was for me 44 days, your body completely, your muscles, everything disappears. And then you completely, in the 44 days, you can like, even I think in 30 days, in 20 days, everything what you told yourself, it's you become. And I'm like, no, no, if I'm doing this, and this is when the breakthrough came. I'm like, I gotta get out of the bed just to write this book. And that shit get me out of the bed. I gotta do this for my kids. And if I have absolutely everything and I make fun of people that are depressed, that are killing themselves, they have anxiety attacks, and it's like I gotta tell them I have everything that it happened to me. This is a true normal freaking disease, and nobody talks about. Like the entire life I was hearing is like, well, you have a issue. It's in your head, dude. Get out. It's in your head. No, it's not. It's in your head. I was like, I'm an Eastern European, so if you cry, you're a woman, you're weak, you cannot do this. You smiling, or you too happy. You like what? Like I cannot even express my feelings and emotions. Like what the hell's going on? So I'm going like, shit, I gotta get out of the bed. I gotta get out of this bed. And then my queen comes in and she opened the blinds. I'm like, dude, and I lost it. Just please leave the blinds closed. And she goes, just please get out of the bed. I'm sick. And she goes, and this, like, guys, it's literally when I have this breakthrough in my head, it's like, I gotta share the story, right? Like, literally, like, God or something came in, and she literally came in, like, 5 minutes after. And it was funny when my kids were leaving the house, I always heard, even though it was a humongous house, I always heard the garage door closing and opening. So every time the garage door closed, when I saw the sound, I could just lay in the bed and scream because I knew I'm home alone. I don't wish anybody the pain, the mental, the emotional pain. There's no like I have surgeries. I was like like surgery after surgeries on my legs, on my hands, everywhere. There's no physical pain as hard and as strong and as painful as emotional pain and mental body pain. Nothing. I can't describe it. And then she comes in, open the blinds, and get out of the bed. And I'm like, guys, I use whatever words I have vocabulary. I'm paying, like, leave me alone, no get away. Why you still here? We were not married at that time. Why you still here? Get out, get out. And she pulls me by the ankle, like literally by the ankle. Please, you have to get out of the bed. You have so many people depend on you. You can, and that's where she said the magic words. You help so many people, you cannot help yourself. And you can't. Guys, when you in this situation, you freaking cannot help yourself. You need somebody to give you guidance. You need somebody to open up. You need somebody to become vulnerable. And she just slammed the door, and I'm like, oh shit. Now I have all the sun coming to my room. I have mine, like, yeah, I have to share the story. Now she is to just validate my point. So I got like a something like okay, I have this huge house, and I walk to the dining room. Guys, my master bedroom was like around the corner. It was maybe like a 50, 60 feet walk. When I got out of the bed, guys, I'm not kidding you. It was dead man walking. I was going like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Like, why? And when I lay down, I have this huge house, like a skylight. I just lay down and I saw the clouds, and there was a hope. It's like, I think this is the reason I just get out. Guys, me hiding, and that's all the all everything I realized that by us hiding and putting the pain and not talking about it, it finally caught up with me. It just caught up with me. And even it's funny that right now talking about it, but even when I tell my kids or somebody else, like my kids go through stuff, I'm like, you just 16, you just 18, you have only 18 years of pain that you're putting, you went through divorce and stuff happening in school. But the older you get, the more pain you have. And the pain really does compound. If we don't go out there, we don't talk about it, we don't bring awareness, because even when I was scared to even tell any of my men friend, because they're gonna think that I'm weak. I'm not freaking weak. You know what I mean? But the vulnerability is just, oh shit, yeah, I go through this. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. You just go through the same thing. Bullshit. It's yeah, suddenly I open to one person, second person, and now we here. I'm opening to stages and talking to people. But making the story short or shorter. So I start noticing during this 44 days, guys, I truly died. Like I truly have to bury all the attic. I have to bury him because he did not serve me anymore. But suddenly I have zero muscles. So I cannot go suddenly doing the Ironmans because remember, then you have the anxiety because now you are depressed, like you are completely depressed. But now you have anxiety because you're still lazy, you cannot do anything. But suddenly, like I cannot like if I'm running, right before I was doing daily 100 miles on the bike, I was running 10 miles, I was swimming 3 miles a day, every single day. I cannot even move. So every effort, everything, every single little thing was a win. I remember me first time after like 60 days, I went out of home. I went to the mailbox. And the mailbox was really like on the end of my not even walkway. I mean, driveway. I have outside my front door, and the mailbox is like literally like 12 feet away from my door. And I opened the door. I went outside. I look at. I was like, holy shit! There is a beauty. I start seeing everything is beautiful. And like, you loser, you want to kill yourself? Like, look at this shit. I go back and I'm not bullshitting right now. I go back and I go, babe, do we have a new mailbox? Our mailbox is gorgeous. It's a regular freaking mailbox. I saw a beauty in the mailbox, you know, and it was funny. And it was like, and I was like, I think I did die over there. And that's suddenly because of all the, and that's how all my journey started and just start going and going. And I'm still there. There's a not, I think right now I understand it's infinite game. There's nothing wrong with have the inner voices. My entire life I talk to myself like shit. I have zero empathy for myself. That's why I was successful. And I was looking for validation from the outside sources. If I buy, if I have one kid, why do I have three? Why do I have four? Why do I have five? Why do I have a one house? What two house? What about one business, 10 business, 20 businesses, retired age of 20, 30, 40? It's just, doing Ironman. Why don't you do Ironman? Why don't you do four in a freaking month? Nobody's done that. It's just more, more, and more. And guys, when you forget because you gotta have goals, we have to evolve and we have to grow, and the progress is necessary. But when you lose the race because you suddenly looking for validation from outside and we forget about ourselves like I did, the game is over. You just lost. You might have everything outside, but there's nothing inside. The game just finished for you. And that's how we have so many suicides this, and it's so many people with because people are even afraid to talk about it. So the lessons, the lessons what I learned, and God, guys, it's been only 4 years now. It's never ending story. So you know, you know, now I'm here, right? So this was the biggest thing. And I figure out that looking from the outside validation, it doesn't bring you happiness. I just like, and it's funny, the only emotions I knew was sad and anger. Now I know all the emotions and the feelings. And running away from the pain is not gonna get you anywhere. Running away, like me, working out, drinking, this doesn't help. If you don't face it, it's not gonna, it's not gonna help. And and the way we talk to ourselves, and mostly like, guys, I'm not joking. Right now, I go to the mirror every morning. I love you, Jarek. I love you. I'm gonna take care of you today. I neglect you for 53 freaking years. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna put good food in you. We're gonna put good reading, good prayer. I want to cry, Jesus. So, whew, sorry, guys. And I do it on daily basis because I empty my bucket. For so many years, you guys, can you imagine being 50 years old and realize that finally on the plane, when they put oxygen, when they told me put oxygen first, I was like, what? My kids first, my mom first, my wife first. Oh, there's older person. That person needs the oxygen. What? Not me? No, no, no. Now I understand why we're putting the mask first. We are here to serve. If you cannot help yourself, you cannot help anybody. You know? But after facing all the demons and devils and all the stuff, all the battles in my head that I lost, I'm here. And I'm here to share the story because 720,000 people every day commit suicide, and 545,000 people are men. So, I mean, to put it to a different perspective, every 1 out of 10 deaths is suicide. To put it in the worst perspective, cities like Boston, Denver, Seattle, 720,000 will be wiped out to suicide every single year. And yet nobody talks about it. So, my struggle with the voices of not enoughness are still here. I'm struggling them every day. And, my entire life, I told myself that I'm not enough, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I'm not worthy. That's a good one. I'm not worthy. I'm a loser. I'm not enough. And nothing silenced those battles. You know what I mean? I tried to silence it through, winning the competitions by swimming away. I was, swimmer, by iron, by drinking away, by biking away, by working out away. None of the stuff silenced my voice inside the head. So, I heard a lot of people. I heard my kids, heard a lot of people that love me. I did not even let anybody, you know, get close to me. So the lessons I learned that, now I know that I'm enough without chasing anything and not using any alcohol, drugs, or work. I don't have to sedate. I know I have a God with me, and I know that I'm love, and I know that I'm love, and I got everything within me, and I fill the bucket on a daily basis. And do I have days that I don't want to get out of the bed? Yeah, I do. I don't have to get up at 4. Like I retired years ago. I still get up 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like every morning. I before I open my eyes, I pray to God. It's like because guys, when you on the top, when you get to some kind of levels, you think you the God, and I think you got it. I still apologize to God. It's like, please, I'm sorry that I thought I'm the God, that I got this. And and just we are enough. And we got to share the message, and we cannot live by somebody else's measurement. We got to create our own measuring stick and just stick to it, and know that we are loved and we are enough. And that's why we are here. And that's why I'm still here. We are on this earth to serve, and I'm glad I have you guys. And I'm sorry, hopefully I did not bore you with my story.
No,
So
no, not at all. Oh, wow. This is so good. Wow. The fact that you went through such a dark period in your life. And I know somebody in here can you can relate to this in some way. And this is a section where we're going to be where you have the chance to ask our guest speaker, Mr. Jarek, any question that you have. But I do have a question to kick it off. If you can go back to your younger self, the one that was trying to make it out and be successful. I remember, I think your story mentioned you started off as a dishwasher. And so, if you can go back to that time, what would you tell yourself, in terms of taking care of your mental health? How to take care of your
you,
mental health at that time?
it's it's funny. At the age of 16, I qualified for Olympics, and I didn't go to piss off my father because I thought that I lost my childhood for the swimming, and I always was forced to do something, and that's what I thought that I built my work ethics. And the only thing I could tell myself is even when I was 16, because when I stood up to my father and to the quitting the swimming, it was I'm not happy. That's not what I want to do. But this was the last time I thought of myself as a little Jarek. What the 10 years old Jarek, 6 years old Jarek, 8, 12 years old Jarek wants. When I start, when I moved to United States of age of 21, because I'm an immigrant and I saw all those opportunities, I'm not gonna lie to you, nothing matters. I just like, I gotta go. I gotta go. And
Yeah.
I put everything behind. It just, I don't know how to answer that, if I answer the question correctly, but lack of awareness, lack
Hmm.
of people around me that have the emotional intelligence. Yarek, I
Exactly.
get you. I get you that you're going there. But how you
Hmm.
doing? What,
Wow.
like it's funny in the business. I ask myself usually five questions. Why I want it, and
Hmm.
then I say, well, because let's I give you let's do this exercise right now because I do this exercise a lot with myself, right?
Hmm.
So let's say why I want to let's say buy a boat, right? Why I want to buy the boat? The first question comes because I want to buy a boat.
Hmm.
Okay, but why you want to buy a boat? It's an ego, right? So like, okay, ego. Okay, because I want to show somebody that it's that I made it. Or it
Hmm.
depends, it's like 60 feet up. It's like, okay, why you want to show somebody that you made it?
Mm.
And it's funny, I do this in the business, but now I do it with myself. Well, now I'm trained. It's been years. Okay, why you want to show somebody?
Yeah.
So now, so it's like, okay, wow. So I get recognized, I get love, it's like, but you don't get okay, but you don't get love through buying a boat.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, somebody's go there. Okay, so I'm just buying the boat just to show somebody that I have money and buy the love. It's like I don't even want the love the way. You know what I mean? I want to have people come to me and just go on the beach and do the grilling. They don't need to go on the $10 million yacht.
Exactly.
So this is the question, but I did not have a guidance. I
Wow.
did not have like I was born. And listen, I love my parents. I have nothing to tell with my parents. Even not, I'm a father right now, and what I've done a year ago, I would never do it today. But
Mm.
my conscious level and awareness level was completely different a year ago than 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So my parents did the best they could do.
Of
They
course.
were at the level that they do the best, and I do the same thing.
Hmm.
So the only thing, asking the right questions, and hopefully running into somebody that hey, how you doing? Because nobody is like, I don't care. I have a goal. I'm going there.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the distance between the outside validation and the inner world, the outer world and the inner world, when it's so separated, this is when the cord just breaks. And
Wow.
that's why we have so many suicides and depressions, because we think in our head, we put our backstory that that's what it has to be. That's what I've been told.
Mm.
And it's a bullshit story. We cannot just cut it and let it go. And we just carry that, oh, because of my father, because of my mother, or because of my teacher, because I have a horrible boss,
Yeah. Yeah.
because because I'm white, because I'm an immigrant, because I'm black, because I'm Chinese, because I'm broke, because I'm, and we just tell ourselves the story and we carry it and we carry it, and we just have to just, it's a one bullshit story. And I
Wow.
tell people always, the depression doesn't pick what color you are, how
Mm.
much money you have in the bank. It doesn't change your bank accounts. It doesn't change your financial status, your status, your if you are a doctor, you have a 10 PhD, you Harvard. Depression doesn't care. Depression doesn't discriminate against anybody.
That's so
If
good.
you neglect yourself for so many years, it's gonna get you.
That's so good. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And so many people, we so many of us we grew up in like situations where we didn't have the most, we didn't have a lot financially, and so we get into this survival mode trying to climb up the ladder, and we forget our mental health. And what Mr. Yaduk is saying is, hey, get some people around you who has that emotional awareness to, just check on you and ask, how are you? Not what can you give me right now, what can you do for me, but how are you? And so that's so good to have that, accountability partner. Theodore asked a question. He said, how do you think your experiences with depression and recovery have changed your approach to future challenges?
It's actually an amazing question. And I'm gonna go back again to awareness and conscious level. It's a lot
Mhm.
higher. And me knowing I don't want to go there. I'm gonna give you Theodore. It just happened to me because I've been divorced 6 years,
Mhm.
and I have and it's funny. I was doing a post for social media about, hey, if you're going through divorce or through the breakup, this is the first Christmas. It's gonna get better. And then I'm doing the post, and who am I bullshitting? It's not gonna get better. It's still gonna hurt. We
Mhm.
gotta go through the process. It's my 6th year, with having my kids only half day of the Christmas. It's not gonna get better. We have to get stronger.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we gotta face it. We gotta go through the process, and none of the stuff will ever disappear.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
will be always there. But what happened is, if you have a faith in you and faith in some, it doesn't matter where you were born. So I'm not gonna, higher powers and God or whatever. For me is God. Uh, what happened is, it's you get stronger, and you're gonna have more tools how to deal with that. And even this is like shit. I know I have a bad day. Tomorrow is gonna be better,
Wow, that's good.
because it's really, it's everything is so temporary, but we stuck. And because what happened is, we stuck in the past, and then we also stuck in the future, and we forget to live in the present. Because right now, I can have $100 million deal going, but I'm here with you and I'm here being present, and
Mhm.
none of the stuff is matter. I'm not gonna do the deal. My kids are waiting to have dinner. It's I can't change anything.
Right. Yeah.
And we do not live in the presence. And presence is, that's what your kids want. That's what you want. Not, you see, I'm telling the kids and the loved ones, the parents, the wife, the husband, the kids, but also you, yourself.
Mhm.
Just be with yourself and be honest. The presence is everything. And then everything's gonna solve. Life happens from inside out, not from outside in.
So good. Yeah.
And it's a painful lesson.
No, that's
I
amazing.
don't know if that answered the question thoroughly.
Yes, that definitely did, and you did more. Thank you so much. Another question came in, with your experience, those dark days, you had to go back to those traumatic moments to write the story. How was it writing the book for you? How was it having to
You
think
know,
about those times?
when I read the book and then I read it, and now I'm writing again because I'm translating in Polish. I didn't know the book is gonna be such a hit.
Awesome.
Uh, I still cry. I still cry.
Mm,
I still cry because it reminds me the feelings and emotions and all the stuff. And this time I allowed myself to cry. I allowed my kids to see me crying. I accept, crying on the stages. I
mm,
don't think it's a sign of weakness because sometimes the tears have to come out because that's what the emotions leave you, and it
yeah,
sometimes has to come out. And it's okay to scream, and I'm and and then I'm strong enough. And I
yeah.
know I'm good enough father. I'm not good enough human being. I'm good enough man. I'm good enough husband. It's not easy. It's still, and it's funny. I'm doing the book in Polish right now, and it's funny. I still cry. I
Mm,
still cry, but I like cry because I relieve the, and I want to share something
yeah.
with audience. You cannot go through 24 hours a day through the pain, okay? Because you're gonna have this pain, you're gonna have the negative. Pain is temporary, suffering is optional.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is in the morning when I meditate, I give myself like I have a 2 minute song, and I give myself and I go through myself. I talk like the way I talk to myself. I go through the worst scenario, everything in just the 2 minutes. So then when really something happened in life after that, during the day, I just train the worst part. Suddenly like, okay. I did a lot worse in my meditation this morning. So it doesn't hurt me that much. It's a little trick that I kind of play with my head. I might not work for me. It would definitely works for me. It's been now 6 years. It definitely works for me. So I have like a very deep meditation when I go through the pain process and I feel it. I feel it here in my stomach, in my chest, and everything else. So when the anxiety hits the blood, and I do it every day.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. And through this time, Mr. Yaddick, did you ever like visit a mental health professional at any point, a therapist, sit down on the couch?
No, because I was dumb.
Mm,
Because I was dumb. No, but thank God I was surrounded by coaches, and
mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of money, and again, I'm fortunate, okay, but so I spend a lot of, so I have on the coaches and stuff like that. But after I recover,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody knows me for so many years, I
Mm-hmm.
hire a therapist because he doesn't know anything about me. So what happened is I can go out there and just tell him the truth. Is my coach lying? I mean, I paid my coach this much. I paid the other coach this much. My wife, my kids, my parents, my this like, am I delusional? And it was
Mm-hmm.
so nice to just go and just split it out and just hear it because he doesn't know the backstory. Because I was scared that I even now
Mm-hmm.
brainwash my people around me because you will brainwash your bubble. And if the
Yeah,
Bible is
yeah.
not strong mentally, they are not trained professional, they
Wow.
will they will let you become the victim.
Wow,
They
wow.
will
That's
let you become the victim, and you not suddenly you in the Bible that you going through even more depression because you get validation for being depressed.
wow. Yeah.
So I would highly recommend it. Like I can tell you, and just quick example. My best friend, he's just had a ski accident. And you know that it's and I know all the professionals, all the physical therapists, the doctors, everybody, like the best of the best right now because of my stuff. And I told them the one lesson I will give you: go to the sports mental, like therapist, like
Yes,
not a
yes.
psychiatrist,
Mm-hmm.
sports, like, so because if I have a therapist at that time, not physical therapist, psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
sports
Mm-hmm.
psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
I would get out of the hunk a lot quicker. He goes like,
Mm,
what are you talking? I'm calling you for a doctor. I'm calling you for physical therapy. No, 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 brother, please believe me. Right now, you think you got this. You don't.
yeah.
Because what happened is, even my doctors told me, you guys, you athletes are the worst patients because you think you can do everything better. And you think you know what I mean? And having the therapist tell me and look at different perspective. And guys, when there's no emotional attachments, when you get advice from your bubble, there's emotional attachment.
Yeah.
You cannot get a you cannot get help from somebody in your bubble
Mm,
because
wow.
you're not getting truth. Because you need somebody who's completely like there is a Joe, there is an Eddie, there is a Christina, and she's completely doesn't know your backstory. You cannot explain it so well, and she can tell you from different perspective because they've been with so many clients. And I know there are
Mhm.
good and bad therapists. I get that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get that. But just go and try it. And just being able even to open up and just say complain about your even your coaches about your your wife or you yourself and not being judged and you don't like it you say too much and then they use this against you on the next session. See ya, I'll go to the next one.
Exactly, exactly. No, this is so good. I mean, I feel like we got Yannick fired up here. He's cooking. I love it. No, but he's so raw and so real. I don't know if you guys looked, but his the link for his book is in the chat. We really want you all to just go ahead and get that book and just really delve into his experience and see how he was able to kind of pick himself back up with a support system, I'm sure. Mr. Yarek, we really appreciate this. This is something that we advocate for, people sharing their story. And with you, you have financial success, you have everything, and you're like the perfect example of yes, I have it all, but I was missing something, and I'm still on the wheel trying to get back. And so, what
I had it all but I didn't have anything. That's the
that
most important. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
So,
I share my daily stories on Instagram. You can follow me there and then I can be reached. I'm very accessible and I'm here to serve and help and do you have any questions?
that's awesome. So if you don't have any questions, we do want to go ahead and again just get the book. But Mr. Yadek, I really want you to leave us with something. What's your encouragement? What I mean, give us something to take with us for the remainder of the year because your story just really touched us in so many ways. So what can you leave us with to take with us and keep going?
You know what? Love yourself. You neglected yourself for so many years. It's time to take care of yourself. And I know I'm gonna say the words that I'm not favorite for it. Be selfish.
Yes.
Be selfish. And I'm telling you, your kid's gonna love you for that. Your wife's gonna have more respect for that. Your parents, everybody around you is gonna love you more. Selfish, I know it's a bad word, but please fill the bucket and be selfish for once in a lifetime. And
Yes.
you will see it will compound the good in life. We're here to serve, and you cannot serve when you are empty. Love yourself. You are enough. That's it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys need to flood the Zoom with emojis for Mr. Yadek. I love it. I love it. He said follow him. He's easy to reach, so we'll hold him
Yeah.
to that. Our CEO, Dr. Joe Orvek, any final words? This was amazing. Any final
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you, Sylvie, for organizing and Yark. This has been more than you know, and I think what's so important is that you never know the impact that you have. When you're able to share your own lived story, so many of us here, including myself, have so many lived stories that we have the ability, and that ability when the time is right is to share that so that people can recognize that you're not alone
Mhm.
and you're doing that. And we need to continue doing that more and more. So thank you for your authenticity. Thank you for your vulnerability. And this just gives us energy. And what a wonderful way, as Sylvie said, to kick off 2025. This gets us going and even more. So thank you very, very, very much.
Exactly. So you know what? That's all, NAMI community. Look, we're gonna be back next month with another amazing speaker, but this one, it got us started the right way. Mr. Jarek, I hope you can come back if we ever need you to speak again. This has been great. So yes, keep in touch with us, all of us, and yeah, good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you,
Jarek.
everyone.
Good night. Good
All right.
night.
Good
Thank you.
night.